Hi everyone, I'm Keshi and welcome back to Keshi's Corner. Today we're going to be talking about books. So on this channel right now so far, we've been talking about my small business, Chili Goose, and I've been giving you a little bit of behind the scenes, I guess, of what making inventory is like. And exciting news, I actually got my first order, so my first Etsy order. I will be making a video of me making that order and shipping it out. So this will probably come out like later next week or something. I do have this video and another video being edited to send out. So it will come soon. And then I have my market that's next weekend, actually, a week from now. Well, like today's Sunday. So it's the Saturday and Sunday. So I will be at least trying to film a good part of that. My first market, I really want to have memories of it and really capture that experience. So we'll see how it is. I usually just film on my phone, so I will probably be needing my phone for the day, but we'll see how it is. Hopefully I'm not gonna fall off this walking pad because I will be talking about different books, and I have 3 here. When I say 3, I have 2 books and then my Kindle with a couple of books in here. And then I also have a list of other ones that I don't currently own. So we'll be talking about my reading goal as well as my TBR for the year. So it's already February, but that's okay. We can start our different goals for the year right now or whenever. So let's talk about reading goal, I guess. First, I've been in a reading slump for the past couple years. I would say at least a year, maybe 2. I haven't read, I don't know if I even finished a book in 2024. I started a couple books, but just couldn't do it. Oh, actually, that's not true, because I did listen to A Court of Thorns and Roses on audiobooks. At least that I did, but I don't know if I actually finished any physical books, but this year I will for sure. I've been getting my love for reading back, I guess. When I say that, am I just saying that for YouTube, or because I was never really somebody who read a ton of books. I was never the person or the girl who would read multiple books in 1 week. I'm a very slow reader, so it takes me a while to finish a book. And at the same time, I don't remember a time where I was kind of just binging books and always having one around. I don't know. Maybe I had little phases when I was a teenager, from time to time. But yeah, I didn't grow up as somebody who could just have had a booktube or a book talk or whatever. But I do understand the importance of reading, and there was a point in my life, I feel different phases, and there was a point in my life where I was really into nonfiction books and business books and just reading that for the knowledge that they provide. So a couple of those I just want to read again this year. That's going to be a focus, rereading the books, because those are the books, when I did my research, that had some of the most value to provide, I guess. So there's no point in just reading it once. There are some, and I'll go more into it as I go into the different books, but especially for nonfiction, I feel it's good to always just be giving it a reread from time to time. But let's just dive right into it. My reading goal first. I want to read 12 books this year, or a book each month. Now, I know it's already February, but that's okay. I already have a couple books in progress, I guess. But even if I didn't, it's okay. I could have said 10 for the year, but I was like, you know what? Let's just go with around a book a month. Maybe I'll be able to read more, maybe not. But that's my goal, my reading goal. I just saw a video where the guy was saying that having an amount of books to read as not being the best reading goal, because there are different types of books and length of books, and that just encourages people to just read shorter books, to read more books. But I do like having an amount of books to read just during the year, and I don't think I will just be gravitating towards shorter books. I don't know. I'll see. But right now, the books that I have in mind are books that I don't actually know how many pages they are. I just want to read them. So I'm not just going to be reading graphic novels and things like that to get to my goal. But I just like having a little bit of a reading goal. So 12 books this year. Now, I was going to do half fiction and half nonfiction. But because I was in such a reading slump and a fiction book is getting me out of it, I figured I would do 7 of them as fiction and then 5 as nonfiction. Because I'm not really in a nonfiction mood, but I do understand, again, their importance. And at some point this year, I kind of wanted to do 75 hard, where I would have to read nonfiction. So, yeah, I'm adding that on there, but also not entirely sure how that's going to go. It's going to be fine because those are going to be mostly rereads anyway. But let's just get started with the list. So the first one that I am currently reading is actually Hatchet. And I'm about halfway done this book. And it's like a kid's book. Is it a kid's book? I feel like it's a kid's 2 middle school books at most, but it's about this, it says 13-year-old. Yeah, so I guess that's the audience too. It's about this teenager who got into like a plane crash, one of those little planes, like individual ones, and finds himself on this island. Actually, no, like he's somewhere in Canada. Like he was going from the US to Canada and finds himself somewhere in Canada, but like it's a plane crash, so he doesn't actually know where he is exactly, but just like in the woods and stuff. And the only thing he has with him is his hatchet. So this is the first book in a series. I'm pretty sure there's 4 books in this series. When I was looking for read all of Brian's adventures. Oh, maybe 5, because this one is, well, Hatchet, obviously. I don't know where I had to read the title to see it. But then here it says, read all of Brian's adventures, Brian's winter, the river, Brian's return, Brian's hunt. Okay, so I guess it's 5 books in this series from what I understand. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I wanted to read about it because it talks about Canada. I mean, kind of. He's just in Canada, I guess, somewhere. And it was recommended to me. So I like it so far. It's okay, but the writing is very, very simplistic, and I get it because it's pretty much a kid's book or like a teenage book, middle grade book, whatever. But I do prefer a little bit of like fancier writing. There was a point where, I don't know if I should say that. Is that a spoiler? See, I don't know what I don't really know what part of it is really like a spoiler at this point, because that's just like an event that kind of happens, but like if I knew that part, that wouldn't, like, it's fine. It's just kind of like a 1 page in the book, and it's not really related to anything after, I don't think. But okay, I'm gonna say something about the book that I just kind of read around halfway through, so if you want to not know about it, maybe skip ahead a little bit. But so he was like getting berries or whatever, and then in the same sentence he just said he turned around and there was a bear, and then that was it. Whereas I'm more used to he turned around and then like froze or something, and his blood turned, I don't know, cold in his veins, whatever. Like, you know, kind of like those types of writing where there's like different sentences before you get to the point of, oh, it was a bear. But what I mean is like a super easy read, I guess, super simple. But yeah, so not much happens in it, obviously, because it's just a little boy on an island trying to survive. But it's good. It's good so far. I'm going to finish it. I don't know if I'm going to be reading the rest in this series, but maybe I will pick up the second one. We'll see. The second one, if it's Brian's winter, maybe I'll want to read it because of a Canadian winter. And I'm kind of confused as to, not confused, but I'm curious as to how he's going to survive a Canadian winter by himself. with like nothing that he has. But anyway, I'm going too much about this right now, so let's just move on. The second fiction book that I want to read this year, and actually have 3 fiction books that I'm reading currently, but the second one is, I hope you can see it, Fourth Wing. So everybody and their mom and their dog, maybe not everybody, but I've been seeing Onyx Storm a lot online, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook maybe, and I want to know what the hype is. So Onyx Storm is the 3rd book in this series, and I feel very left out, so I decided to start the Fourth Wing, or Fourth Wing, I don't know if there's a but I just finished chapter 1, so I just started it. To be fair, it was a pretty long chapter. But I just finished chapter 1, and I like it so far. Compared to, again, The Hatchet, this one's writing is more like right up my alley, I would say. So it's not super complex or complicated, but at the same time, there is some more like flowery way of describing things. It's a little bit more dramatic. I guess that's what I'm looking for, a little bit more dramatic compared to like the simple language of the other book. So I do very much like it so far, and I'm very excited to maybe, since everybody's talking about Onyx Storm, maybe I can give you guys a little bit of my experience reading it as I go through it. But so far, I like it. It could, if we count it as a series, I would like to read all 3 of those books. So the Fourth Wing, I think Iron Flame is the second one, and then Onyx Storm. So I would like to read the 3 books, so that would already have been 4 books that I finished if I finished all 3 of those. And then the 3rd book, because I did say that I read or listened to A Court of Thorns and Roses last year. So currently I'm in the middle of A Court of Mist and Fury, and I actually started at an audiobook, but then I kind of just lost my interest in audiobooks just because I zone out really quickly. So when I'm doing something, sometimes I'm missing important information, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just fiction book, so it's fine that I listen to it, and it's okay if I miss some information. But when I'm actually I reread like the last chapter. I got it on ebook, so I got it on my Kindle, and I reread that last chapter, and I was like, oh, there are some things that I totally did not hear in the audiobook, so I clearly wasn't doing a great job at listening to it. But, so now I'm going to be reading, I'll keep reading that one on my Kindle, and I'm very excited for that one. I actually really, really enjoy it. Maybe even more than the first one so far. It's been keeping me pretty hooked, but at the same time not enough that I couldn't put it down for a little bit to start Fourth Wing. But it might just be because I feel pressured, because I don't want to finish the other book. The thing is, I'm thinking if I finish A Court of Mist and Fury and it ends on a cliffhanger or something, I will want to pick up the next one. But then even by the time I finish that one, and then I get to Fourth Wing and the second one and the third one, which is Onyx Storm, everybody would have finished reading and gotten over it. So I wanted to just finish it and be with everybody else where the hype is here. So that's why I'm kind of reading it in that order. But I do very much like A Court of Mist and Fury. The next fiction books that I want to read this year have to do with Greek mythology. I do really like Greek mythology, but I definitely have my phases with them where I would just go and learn so much about it and then just forget about it. But I never really not like Greek mythology, but right now I wasn't really in a phase of being obsessed with it like I was in my first to second year of university. I almost took a Greek mythology class as one of my electives, but I was like, am I really going to spend money on that? I don't know. So I think I took psychology or something instead. But I got both the Iliad and the Odyssey on my Kindle. Those ones you can get for free because they are what we call in the public domain after a certain amount of time after it's been written, I guess. A book is no longer, I guess, copyrighted, so it's in the public domain, so you can just get it or use it, even for commercial use. So, is it Project Gutenberg? Or am I totally wrong? There is a website, I will link it below, where you can find those like classics and things like that that are now in the public domain, and you can just get it for free. So I just got it for free and then added it to my Kindle. And let me know if you want to know how to easily add a book to your Kindle, because I just find that I can easily do that. I don't remember how I did it before, because I remember I sent it, I think through email or something before, I don't remember. But I recently found a way through Amazon to do it super quickly, and I was like, oh, I didn't actually know you could do that. But let me know, maybe I'll make a video about that. But anyway, so the Iliad and the Odyssey, I just don't know if I'm going to be like sitting down and going through all of it at once, or if I'm going to be referencing it more, so kind of reading one of two, because I think they're in the form of poems. I don't really know. I heard they're also huge. Again, I got it on the Kindle. I didn't even check the page number, so I don't really know what I'm getting into. But I do want to know like the basis of all the stories and things like that. So that's like kind of there. I don't know if I'm really gonna consider it my TBR list. It might not be one of those 12 that I do finish this year, but one that is the Song of Achilles. So I heard this is, well, obviously it's a retell. Is it a retelling? Is it considered a retelling? But it's about Achilles, the guy with the weak ankles. I was like, whatever. Heel? No, it's called Achilles' heel, but yeah, the guy with the weak ankles, I guess. Whatever. I was trying to make a joke. It didn't work out. Anyway, I'm excited to read that book. I heard really good things about it, but also I heard good things about it like a couple of years ago. So it's probably not like that popular anymore. But it's if it's a good book if it was a good book a couple years ago, it's probably still a good book now. So I'm excited to read that one. And then also Mythos by, I really forgot. I'm sorry. I can put it below, but Mythos is also another one that I want to read. Again, more like kind of an introduction book. I want to start with more of like introduction books to just see. I know that there's different versions of the stories, but sometimes I just want a refresher on different ones, and I feel like I keep trying to learn more about ones I already know. And then there are some other ones that I just don't know about at all, like Jason and the Argonauts. I don't know much. Like I kind of know the gist of it. I think it's the Argonauts. I don't know, but I kind of know the gist of it, but not too much. So I do want to know the stories, all the stories, even if it's in a condensed short form version. But yeah, so that's the last one that I have on my TBR as of now. I will probably see more and add more. I had some Percy Jackson books. Some Percy Jackson Gods of Olympian. But a couple of the different series from Rick Riordan. See, I used to know how to pronounce his name, and then I left that side of browsing on Book Talk, and now I forgot. But anyway, I had a couple of his books, some about Greek mythology, some about Roman mythology, and some about, I think, Egyptian mythology as well. And I really like that aspect, that his different books are about different mythologies, because I want to learn more about Norse mythology and Egyptian mythology, and again I feel like Roman and Greek mythology are very close. It's just different names for the same gods. But again, I don't know. I have to learn about them. But anyway, those are my fiction side of things. Now for nonfiction, the first one that I want to reread, actually not this one yet, I don't have it with me, but I'll just put it somewhere on the screen, is Atomic Habits. I do have this book. It's just not with me right now, but I keep hearing a couple quotes online on YouTube based on Atomic Habits, and I'm like, I don't actually remember reading that part. So maybe for nonfiction, I need to slow down instead of trying to read quickly through it. Slow down and really just taking the information. So I'll do a slower read for those things. But Atomic Habits, just helping you. Should I have given a little bit of an introduction or summary of the different books? It's too late now. It's okay. Should I have? Well, maybe I will want to explain what I've read about it, or I can give. Yeah, I can do that. Once I've read one, I can make a video about my experience reading it or something, or once I've done a series. Oh, yeah, I should have done that. Anyway, it's fine. I'll do it for the nonfiction ones. So, Atomic Habits, kind of self-explanatory, I guess, but it does help you build better habits through linking them together is the main point that I remember. Basically doing like micro habits together, like bunching something that you already do or like to do with something that you have to do. So I'm excited to revisit that one. The second book that I want to read or reread this year is The Millionaire Fastlane. I think I read this twice. Once for sure. Again, it's all so many different. I don't know why I add so many of them. I'm sure it's color coded too. You might think, of course it is, because I have different colors, but I might just have run out of one color and use another one. But I think it's actually color coded in this case. But yeah, I don't know. I never go back and really. Oh, I have little things inside too. But I never like go back and look at the notes. So I don't know why I add so many little tabs in there. But I remember I really liked it the first time, and then I don't know if I finished the second reading, but I kind of want to give it a second to third read. And this one is about building wealth. The main thing that I remember from this book is to make your business scalable. So if you have a hot dog stand, for example, it's not very scalable, so there's only so much you can sell with you just standing there selling hot dogs, versus maybe franchising it is one way to make it more scalable, or again, giving you other options here of how to build wealth in a way that's not just saving or just spending, I guess. Because they talk about how there's like this one's the fast lane. Is there the slow lane? What's the other one? There's 3 lanes. Anyway, one is just like you're not saving, you're not doing anything, you're going to get poor. The other one is like you're saving and maybe investing in, is it stocks, I think? And things like that. I clearly need to reread. But basically one that's not going to get you anywhere. Once that will get you to wealth when you're really old. So after you retire, hopefully you'll get there. So that's the second one. And where we want to be, I guess, the lane that we want to be in is the fast lane. And he just gives you basically, MJ DeMarco just gives you a couple of ideas and a couple of things to follow that could lead you there a little bit easier. So the next book that I want to read this year is The Psychology of Money. This one is not a reread. I've not read that yet. But one of my goals this year is to pay off like my line of credit and my student loans. Well, I have those two, but pay off my debt a little bit quicker and actually proactively make sure I put money aside to do those so that they're going down and not just kind of staying around the same by the end of the year. I want to see basically a considerable difference between January of 2024 and January of 2025 in at least one of those two. So starting with the line of credit, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Where should we put money? But again, at the same time, that's why I want to read that book. We'll learn more about it because I'm hoping it will help me identify which one to pay first. Like the student loan, even the student loan has 2 categories, like the federal one or the provincial one. Well, one of them doesn't have interest, so then I would pay that last. But the one that does have an interest versus, again, the line of credit has a higher interest and at the same time it is lower. So I was like, I might as well just get that done and over with. My only concern was that with a line of credit, am I going to be at some point not pressured, but influenced to just borrow from it again because money is just there? Hopefully not. So I'm going to try to pay it off and just not have any on there, and I don't even have, maybe close it or just not touch it. But it's going well so far, but maybe it could go better after I read The Psychology of Money. So I'm excited about that. And then there are 2 other books. The first one, both of those are also rereads. So except The Psychology of Money, all the other nonfiction books that I have in mind right now to read are rereads, but I might come across something else that I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. I haven't read it. So some books I might not get to them if I get to something else, but I'll do another video next year at the end of this year to see what I actually read. Like, I guess year in review or something like that. But so the 2 other books that I think the last time I read them, both on my Kindle, I think I read them really close together because I can't identify which one is which. But there's 101 essays that will change the way you think. Actually, no, I think that one I have it as a physical copy. And then the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. I was looking at my notes because I forgot the author's name. The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. And yeah, so 101 essays that would change the way you think. So I believe the one that I actually really, really liked was the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. And I'm excited to read that again. I remember that kind of blowing my mind a little bit. So I probably read that one first. I believe the 101 essays that would change the way you think. I think it didn't really change the way I think. It was okay. But I think I took a little bit to get through it. It was a little bit boring, I think, in my opinion. But that's why I also want to give it a reread because I don't quite remember. We'll see. But yeah, that's actually everything. That's all the books. Do we have 12? I don't know if we got to 12, but those are the books that I kind of had in mind I wanted to read when I made my reading goal. So it might not be at 12, but if not, I'm sure I will find another couple books that I will want to read. But again, like I said, I'm a slow reader. I would give myself a month to finish a book. If I do it faster, nice, but I don't really want to feel pressured to read quick or anything like that. I just want to read a little bit more because the alternative is scrolling on social media usually. Especially when I'm tired, because when I'm not somebody who doesn't have hobbies. I have a million hobbies. But if I'm tired, I'm not going to go out and do archery, or even sometimes I'm too tired to work on my business or things like that. So I just want something I can do very easily. And reading has been that. I actually really, really like reading on my Kindle. I have so many video ideas, but I'm thinking I might make a video on why I love my Kindle so much, as in the differences between reading a physical book and on the Kindle and things like that. But if you have any videos that you want to see from me, just let me know. In the meantime, I will see you next time. I want to add one last thing. I tried to film a YouTube video more often, I tried for every day, but that only lasted a couple days, and it didn't go as planned, and I felt like I was gonna burn out. So I will also make another video on that at some point. I have too many videos in the works here, but again, next weekend, because I will be at the market all weekend. That's why I'm filming this one. So maybe this one will go out sometime this week, and then the next time. So the maybe third YouTube video that you see not from here. After this video, the next one, I guess. But I was thinking the third YouTube video that you'll see from the time I'm recording this video, but also the next video you see after this one might be about the market. So I'm excited for you to see that. Stay tuned, like and share this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Again, bye for now.